Hi, I'm Stacey and welcome to the Book Nook. And apologies for the lighting, it's super bright here for some reason. But today we're going to be going through some questions that I saw on Book Twitter. Because why not? I thought it sounded a bit fun, so let's do it. I feel like I need to sort out this lighting though, because my face looks pale as a ghost. Well, that's a little bit better, that'll do. So let's get into the first question, which is, when you finish a book, do you grab a new one immediately? By the way, these are just random things that I've seen on Twitter and I've just been writing them down. So I didn't actually take note of who said what, but if it was you, thank you. So when I finish a book, do I grab a new one immediately? I like to know what I'm going to pick up next. So I usually know exactly which one's going to be next. But I try to leave it a little while in between to kind of process it, to put it on core pile, which I do use. I will link that down below. And I try to give it some time so that I can think of how I would want to review it. Because I do have my own little book review journal too, which I can just show you actually. So I use this little notebook which was in a fairy loot box, and it's got these cute little pages with page number and notes and everything you could need is on there. So I try to write a review for all of the books that I read. Don't always do the graphic novels, but I do most of them. Ooh, number 2, what's your favourite book aesthetic? So I'm going to take this to mean covers. So I love just a pretty cover really. Anything with flowers on it. So I like floral designs, I like just nature really, and kind of celestial designs, kind of like this up here. Celestial, or that there. Just, yeah. And I like a bit of foiling. Who is your favourite mythological character? I'm going to say Medusa is one of my favourites because she is so misunderstood in just the traditional mythology. Like, she was treated. Ooh, wobbly camera. She was just treated so wrongly. So when I see retellings of her story, I always want to delve into those because it sounds great. Other mythology, I would say I like Norse and Egyptian mythology as well. I really enjoy stories about Loki in particular, because who doesn't love a trickster god? What is your favourite retelling? Ooh, that's actually really hard because there's so many that I really enjoy that are mythological retellings or fairy tale retellings or just retellings of earlier stories. But I'm not sure. One of my favourites that I have read this year, I'm going to say, is probably Daughter of the Moon Goddess. Because I just really enjoyed that story. I liked the way it was told. Oh, but I also really, really enjoyed The Girl Who Fell Beneath the Sea by Axie O. And I hadn't properly heard that myth before, but I loved it. It was brilliant. And I'm just here. Yeah. So I would definitely say this because I loved it. It was like a Studio Ghibli movie, only in a book, and super cute. I really, really liked it. So that's probably one of my favourites I've read this year. Sorry if you can hear my computer. It is rather loud, just like the jets today. So, the next one is convince me to read a book with just a single quote. And I think I would like to convince you to read The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, which is this book right here. Bit in the shade so you can actually see it properly. And it's a really beautiful book. I really loved it. It's really beautiful. And this is the quote I want to give you. You know, she'd said, they say people are like snowflakes, each one unique. I think they're more like skies. Some are cloudy, some are stormy, some are clear, but no two are ever quite the same. I love that. I think that's amazing. And I'm a bit of an art lover, so of course I think that's amazing. If you were transported to the setting of the book you're currently reading, would you survive? So I'm currently reading Twin Crowns by Catherine Doyle and Catherine Webber. It's actually downstairs, so I won't show you it in person. Would I survive? So it's the kingdom of Iana, and there's witches, rebels, and I haven't got too far into it, but I'm sure it's going to be a bit more dangerous. And actually, we've had the really creepy sand blood beetle thing. So no, I don't think I would survive because that blood beetle would have definitely eaten me. I'd definitely be dead. Okay. To be honest, I have chronic fatigue syndrome. So if 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 we needed to run, anyone else would be running a lot further than me with a lot more stamina because I'd be running and then I'd be like, nope, too much, and then I would get eaten by a blood beetle. So yeah, I'm not gonna last too long if I have to run from anything or any kind of physical exertion because the next day I'd just be lying down and you wouldn't be able to do anything with me and I'd be gone. The next question, on that note, what was the last book you purchased? The last book that I actually purchased was... I actually have a note right there. Okay, so the last book that I actually purchased was on Amazon, and it was The Book Eaters by Sunny Dean. It was 99p, and I'm a sucker for 99p deals, and I really need to go on a book buying ban. But it sounds really cool. Ooh, recommend a fantasy you read recently. Well, actually, I'm really enjoying Twin Crowns, so but I haven't even read 100 pages, so I guess can I recommend that? I think I will, though. I think I will recommend that because it was really good. What other fantasies have I read recently that I can recommend? Oh, yeah, I would highly recommend The Stardust Thief by Chelsea Abdullah, which I've actually lent to my sister now, so it's not actually on my shelves for me to show you. But I loved that. It's got everything you want. It's got gin, it's got a magical kingdom with a cool desert and powers and like these, I don't remember what they're called, creepy ghouls. I loved that one. So yes, I would recommend The Stardust Thief by Chelsea Abdullah. What fictional place would you love to visit? There's quite a few. I'm sure there's quite a few that I would really love to visit, but I'm thinking Narnia, because that's one of my childhood series that I've loved for a very long time. And the thing that I loved the most as a child was the world and all the cool things that were there and the talking animals, and I just think that Narnia would be incredible. Second to that is The Land of Oz, obviously. That also sounds amazing. Again, talking animals. Apparently, I just really wanted to talk to animals when I was a kid. But Oz would be brilliant. Just that has some crazy things in it. So, just anything weird and different. What's the strangest thing you've used as a bookmark? I am not a very strange person for bookmarks. I think I just normally use bookmarks. I have a collection up there now of quite a few bookmarks I've got from various places, mostly Fairy Loot, but I've got a wider variety of bookmarks. But I used to use things like receipts of random ripped pieces of paper, and I have definitely used another book as a bookmark before, just to kind of keep the place while you find a bit of paper. No, I haven't used a weird thing, I don't think. Please let me know if you've used something really weird as a bookmark, and put it down below because I want to see that. Recommend a horror that isn't too scary. Yeah, so for this one, I'm definitely going to go for Mexican Gothic by Sylvia Moreno-Garcia because I loved it. Like, it's got the kind of gothic, creepy feel. You've always got that tension there and the creepiness, but it's not too, it's got a tiny little bit of gore, but it's not too gory, it's not too much. But please read the trigger warnings for it because it does have themes of sexual assault and things like that in it, which could be quite difficult to read. So you've been warned. But it's not too horror focused, it's more gothic focused. What authors are insta-buy for me? So I have read and loved everything, well, everything I've read from V.E.Schwab I've absolutely loved. So I would say that V.E.Schwab is an insta-buy for me. Sylvia Moreno-Garcia, I would love to buy all her books because I'm pretty sure I'd love them all. Who else? I don't really have that many instant buys though, because I usually find that I don't always love every single piece of people's work. But there are authors that I would like to read more from though. That include Alice Oseman and TJ Klune, etc. So this isn't actually technically a book question, but I might make it a book question. It says, what's your favourite comfort movie? I'm very much, if I want to be comforted, it's a rom-com for me. I want to have a rom-com. One of my favourite rom-coms, which coincidentally is also based on a book, is The Duff. I don't know why I love it, but I love it. I honestly do. And then there's also things like 27 Dresses I really enjoyed, 13 Going on 30. I love those kind of films that I enjoyed when I was younger. Those kind of ones. Those are very much comfort movies for me. Ooh, a book rack that isn't super popular. Should we browse my shelves and see what? Oh, I know. I know. If I can get thing out. Okay. So I haven't really seen too many people talk about this book. I've seen some people talk about it, but not necessarily in a good way. But I really loved this side. I really loved The Seven Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle by Stuart Turton. I loved it. It was a bit, it was different. It was like really different. And I love it when I can't figure out the ending. It's basically completely a mystery because you start at the start, you're following a man who doesn't know who he is. He's just running in this wood, and that he's woken up and he's just in this wood. And I love that you follow him and you learn with him what's going on, and you have to piece everything together with him. And I just really, really enjoyed it. It was, I think it was my favourite read of 2020, I want to say. But I loved this, and I don't see many people recommending it. But I really enjoyed it. How much of a book do you remember once you finish? Okay, so once I finish, as I did say earlier, I try to leave a little bit of time so that I can think it through in my head. And for that bit of time, I remember a lot of the book. As soon as I start a new book, I don't know what happened in the last book. So I'll remember quite a bit of it, but I won't be able to do a proper synopsis. And I don't know if you have realised this, but I am so terrible at synopses. I'm really bad at them, especially unless I'm actually physically reading the book now, then I'm not too bad. Or it was literally the last book that I read. But anything before that, and I suck at remembering what happened. So there we go. Okay, last question. Do you have a reading goal for the year, and how's it going? So I do have a reading goal for the year, and I set it to 30 because last year I actually read 36, I think. Hang on, let me just check Goodreads because I set it on Goodreads. Oh no, it doesn't say 36, it says 34, so I was wrong. Okay, so I read 34 books last year, so I normally set it to 30 because I figure 2.5 books per month isn't bad. I usually read 3 or 4. Like, that's quite a manageable amount for me. However, this year I've read 46 books. 46. And I think that's partially due to reading graphic novels because I've only just got into that a bit more this year. But I'm currently 25 books ahead of schedule. So I'm probably going to be on for 55 or 60 books this year, which is nearly double my goal. So maybe I'll up it next year. But to be fair, I've had a lot more time this year to read, and I've really been going through them. So that's probably why. And also due to the graphic novels. So yeah, I'd say that's going really, really well. So I'm pretty pleased about that. So that is all the questions that I've just seen on Twitter. If you would also like to answer those questions, feel free. I'll pop them in the description down below so that you can see them too. And if you want to do a video, go ahead. If you want to just answer them for me, go ahead, because I want to know everything. Hi, Editing Stacey here, and I just wanted to let you know that I decided to make this into a book tag. It's going to be Twitter questions book tag. So feel free to give it a go, and I'll put all the questions down below in the description. So thank you for watching. And if you liked that video, make sure to like and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye!